Azure Storage Interview Questions. What is Azure Storage? Azure Storage is a cloud-based storage service that provides scalable and highly available storage solutions for various types of data, such as files, blobs, tables, and queues. What are the 4 types of Azure Storage services? The 4 types of Azure Storage services are blob storage, table storage, queue storage, and Azure Files. What is Azure Blob Storage used for? Azure Blob Storage is used to store unstructured data such as documents, images, videos, and backups. Explain the difference between block blobs and page blobs in Azure Blob Storage. Block blobs are optimized for streaming and storing large amounts of data, while page blobs are used for virtual machine disks and provide random access capabilities. What is Azure Table Storage used for? Azure Table Storage is a NoSQL data store for semi-structured data, typically used for storing large amounts of structured data. What is Azure Queue Storage used for? Azure Queue Storage provides reliable messaging between components of cloud applications, enabling asynchronous communication. What is Azure Files? Azure Files offers fully managed file shares in the cloud, accessible using the standard Server Message Block (SMB) protocol. What is Azure Premium Storage? Azure Premium Storage provides high-performance SSD-based storage for I/O-intensive workloads that require low latency and high throughput. What is the purpose of the Access tier in Azure Blob Storage? The Access tier allows you to control the cost and performance of your blob storage by choosing between hot, cool, and archive tiers based on data access patterns. What is Azure Data Lake Storage? Azure Data Lake Storage is a large-scale data lake solution that can handle massive amounts of data for big data and analytics workloads. How can you secure data in Azure Storage? You can secure data in Azure Storage using access control mechanisms like Shared Access Signatures, SAS, Azure RBAC, and encryption at rest. What is geo-replication in Azure Storage? Geo-replication is the process of replicating data across multiple Azure regions for data redundancy and disaster recovery purposes. What is Azure Blob Versioning? Azure Blob Versioning allows you to keep multiple versions of an object in a blob storage container, enabling you to recover from accidental deletions or modifications. Explain the concept of Azure Storage Emulator. The Azure Storage Emulator is a local development tool that simulates the Azure storage services, allowing developers to test and develop against a local storage environment. How do you migrate data to Azure Storage? You can use tools like Azure Data Factory, Azure Data Migration Assistant, and Azure Import/Export to migrate data to Azure Storage. What is Azure Queue Storage used for? Azure Queue Storage provides reliable messaging between components of cloud applications, enabling asynchronous communication. What is Azure File Sync? Azure File Sync is a service that synchronizes on-premises file servers with Azure Files, enabling centralized file management and cloud backup. What are the differences between Azure Blob Storage and Azure File Storage? Azure Blob Storage is designed for storing unstructured data, while Azure File Storage offers fully managed file shares that can be mounted on Windows and Linux systems. What is the purpose of the Azure Storage Explorer tool? Azure Storage Explorer is a graphical user interface tool that enables you to manage and interact with Azure storage resources and data. How can you optimize costs in Azure Blob Storage? You can optimize costs in Azure Blob Storage by using the appropriate access tier, setting lifecycle management policies, and enabling data deduplication. Thanks for watching.